Out of every Amazon FBA tutorial on YouTube, I can guarantee this one will be the clearest no-fluff guide dedicated specifically to online arbitrage that you've ever watched. And there are various different things that we're going to be covering. Things like what Amazon FBA is, what online arbitrage is, how to go about finding your first products, how to take those products and analyze them so that we can guarantee that they will sell, how to list those products for sale on Amazon's website, how to create your own Amazon seller account, how to get your first shipment of products sent to Amazon's fulfillment center where they're stored until sold, how to make your first sale using the mysterious buy box and how to win the lion's share of that from your competitors and leave them lying in the dust wondering what's happening. And then of course, because by that point you're making sales and profits, the big question that comes up at that point is, what do I do with my taxes? So first off, let's talk about what Amazon FBA is. Maybe you already know, maybe you don't, but let's just clear it up here and now. So Amazon FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So how it works is Amazon will store your products in their own fulfillment centers where it is kept until it's sold. So at the point at which it is sold, Amazon's team will pick it from the shelf, they'll pack it in a box, and they'll ship it to your customer on your behalf. Also, after the sale has taken place, if the customer has any questions about the product or they want to follow up on the delivery of their item, all of the customer service beyond that point is also handled by Amazon. The best thing about this is it's done at no additional cost. Amazon tells you right from the very beginning how much they're going to charge you. We have tools that I'm going to be showing you later on in this video that can pull back the curtain on a product and see exactly how much Amazon's going to charge us once we sell it to have them pick it off the shelf, pack it in a box and ship it to our customer and handle all the customer service. It's 100% transparent. We know from the very beginning. There are a number of different business models that you could utilize to make this work and make profit from it. Now, my personal favorite and the one I specialize in and that I've been doing since 2013 is what's known as online arbitrage. Essentially, what online arbitrage is when we buy products at a discount from regular online retailers and we sell them for their regular price on Amazon. Now, of course, like I said, there are some fees and costs that we need to take into account there, but the difference between what we buy it for, what we sell it for, minus the fees and costs is the profit. And that's what we take home. That's what we put in our pockets or into our bank accounts. Now, that's the important part. And once again, I'm going to show you exactly how to work out what those profits would be and how much your profit would be if you were to buy multiples of those products. Let me show you an example of a product that I found that we could resell on Amazon for a profit. So this is boots.com. It's an online retailer based in the UK that specializes in health and beauty products. Now I'm going to show you some examples from the US as well, but as you can probably tell from my accent, I'm based in the UK in England, so I'm going to start with a UK example and then we'll move on to the US. So this here, they currently have a series of different offers that we can stack. We call this an offer stack. So right here we can see we can save up to 20% on selected items. This item is included. And then there's a 3 for 2. So buy 2, get 1 free essentially. So buy 1, get 1 deal. And then obviously the other extra little bonus here is if you have a Boots Advantage card, which for anyone who's not familiar with this, lots of online retailers and physical retailers have rewards programs. They have loyalty schemes or a membership with them. Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're paid, but ultimately there are different versions of this. Some allow you to collect points that can be exchanged for cash that you can spend in store, like vouchers, or some give you additional bonuses, benefits and discounts and things like that. But with Boots, you can save up points, exchange those points for further discounts on your products, and ultimately any further discount that you get off of these products is immediately more profit in your pocket. So with this particular product, once we apply all of these discounts, I've done the workings out ahead of time, it means that these will cost us £5.84 a piece, roughly $8 US. So now how do we go and find this product on Amazon? Because obviously we're looking at this on boots.com. Well, it's quite simple because all we do is we highlight the title, we right click it and copy it, and then we go over to Amazon and we drop it into the search bar and we do a search for it. Now, to save us some time on this video, I've already matched it up to the product on the listing. You can see here we have the number 7 Moisture Drench Lipstick Pink Lemonade. And just to show you, the color is different there, but we do have the pink lemonade selection selected just here. So it is the same one that we're looking at. The packaging is slightly different, but otherwise it's the same thing. So what we do from this point is we need to decide, is this a good product to buy? Now we have a product filter, if you like, that we use. A framework that we call Vitals, which is essentially a way for us to be able to establish whether or not this is a product that's good to invest in. Is it going to sell? Are people paying the price that we're looking to achieve? We have a series of checks and balances there to make sure that, like I said, every investment that we make is going to turn out to be a product that sells, not just sitting on the shelf gathering dust, because that's not good for anybody. Even Amazon doesn't want that, because they don't want their storage facilities just being full of stuff that's not being turned around. They make more money if your product sells faster, so they're incentivizing us to make that happen, and so we only want to buy products that are actually selling. So let me talk you through what we're looking at here. The profit calculator that we use, it's a tool called BuyBot Pro. It's not our tool, it is a third-party tool, but it's the tool that I've been using for many years now, and it does exactly what we need for it to do. So I can enter the buy price here. It automatically populates the sell price, which the buy is based on the buy box that I was mentioning earlier on in the video, £16.96. The buy box is this area here, by the way. So right now we can see that £16.96, if I were to hit add to cart, that's what I'd be paying for that product. So that's what it's selling for. So we populate the sell price, we put in the buy price, and it's going to work out that we can actually make £5.77 for every single one of these that we sell, which means the most important metric here, and then when you compare this to current interest rates, other investments and things like that, we can actually grow our money by 98.77%. It's just a little under doubling our original investment. Now you'll also see that I've put a quantity of 6 into the calculator, and that's because Boots don't like us buying any more than 6 units. Now whilst that might sound like something that would hold you back, let me tell you why it's not. It's a great thing to only be able to buy small quantities of products. The reason for that is because we won't get stuck with inventory that ultimately doesn't sell. So many people, one of the biggest mistakes that I see is people start off with this model, they'll go buy 50 of an item they got really excited about, they won't really understand what they're looking at, and the product will sit and just gather dust and not sell. But with this model, online arbitrage, because retailers typically don't like us ordering 50 to 100 of any one particular thing, we order small quantities, typically 3 to 5 of lots of different products, which enables us to test on a very large scale, so that if we wanted to really build this thing out and grow it later on down the line, we could start looking for wholesalers and distributors to buy these things from directly. But hey, that's a whole nother video for that. So anyway, I've entered a quantity of 6 here because Boots don't like us ordering any more than 6. And if I scroll down, I can see that from just this one product, I can make £34.61. Now this took me a matter of minutes to find. These deals are available all over the internet. Just think for a moment how many millions and millions of websites there are out there that have offers, discounts and sales and things like that all year around. And in fact, one of my favorite ways to find these deals is to go out there and create a dedicated email inbox. I have just joshdealsuk@gmail.com. That's not the real one, so don't send me an email to that, but something like that. And I sign up to the mailing list of all these websites that have discounts on a regular basis, so that every day when I wake up, the first thing that I can do is to check to see if there are any new discounts, sales, clearance deals, offers, or anything like that that I might be able to take advantage of, buying these products at a discount and reselling them on Amazon for a profit. Now, of course, not every item we check is going to be profitable, but the idea is that we check as many as we can, we sort the gold from the gravel, and we end up purchasing the ones that work. So if we were to go about trying to find out more about this product to see, are people actually buying it and are they paying the price that we're looking to achieve, we can see a couple of different data points here. We've got estimated sales. It's showing 12 sales over the last 30 days, but I can see last month it sold 10 units. So the fact that we can only buy 6 is a good thing, because this thing isn't selling hundreds and hundreds of units a month. But we don't need that, because we're only buying in small quantities anyway. The competition on this product, there are only 4 other sellers, and they're all uniformly priced at the price point that we're looking to achieve. So what's going to happen here is Amazon's going to equally share out the buy box amongst us different sellers on the listing, and within the next 4 weeks we should be sold out with that on that product quite easily. If we wanted to guarantee that this product is actually selling, there's a little feature on the tool here that we can use called Sales Heat Map, and we can basically correlate. If we run our mouse along here, you can see the buy box price in pink is showing at $16.96 quite consistently, which is what we're looking at achieving right now. And if we correlate that with the orange and red bars beneath the chart, it will show us that sales are consistently happening at that price point. So there we go. Right away we can see that not only is this product selling, but it's also selling at the price that we're looking to achieve. So that's how we go about finding a product and then analyzing it. Now let's say we went ahead and placed an order for this product. It's quite simple to do. If you've ever bought anything on an online store before, you'll be able to do this yourself. We just go add to basket. Now, the only key difference here is that if you want to, you can actually outsource the handling of the product when it gets delivered, because of course we can't order these products and have them delivered directly to Amazon. They need to go somewhere, and the way most people do this is they use what's known as a prep center. So there's a resource that I can share with you called prepcenter.com, not our resource, not our website, just one that we recommend that our clients use, but it's essentially a place you can go to find prep centers who are third-party companies set up specifically to deal with and handle products that are ordered from online retailers by third-party sellers like us. They will prepare the goods and send them to Amazon's fulfillment center on your behalf. So that means that you could be enjoying a vacation in Mexico whilst your Amazon store is still running. You can be ordering products from a beach in Mexico, have them delivered to a prep center who will handle them and send them on to Amazon's fulfillment center on your behalf. So it truly is hands off beyond the point of which you find the products in the first place. Just sign up with the prep center, one that we like, one whose fees we're happy with. We can build the cost of those fees into our BuyBot Pro tool if we wanted to here. We can tell it how much we're going to be paying for prep and it will build that into the cost if we're using it. If not, you can optionally prepare these items yourselves. You just need to print off a very small barcode that Amazon gives you, stick it over the existing barcode, and then put it all in a box together. You can combine various different items and then send it into Amazon's fulfillment center. Okay, so that was a UK example. Now let me quickly show you a US example, and then I'll show you how to go about listing these products in your Amazon seller account. So right here on this website, Woot, we can actually buy these Google Pixel watches for just $79.99. Over on Amazon, the exact same product is currently selling for $139.99, which means that when we do the same calculation, we put our buy price in, we have our sell price in, when we do we run the numbers, we can actually make a profit of $44.04 per unit. So every single one of those that we buy. We also grow our original investment by a massive 55%. So bigger and different numbers here on the US example, but similarly, it's selling 15 units in the last 30 days. It sold 23 in March, 30 in February. So this is a product that's selling in good volume. Once again, we can only buy 3 of these. The store that we buy from limits us to only buy 3. So we don't need the product to be selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units every single month. Again, it's another big mistake that I see beginners make. See products like this, but they will disqualify them because they'll say, oh, it's only selling 15 units a month. But if you can only buy 3, it doesn't matter. We buy 3, we pocket the, I'm not even sure, I'm not very good at working maths out in my head. But there we go. If we were to buy 3 of them, we'd make $132.12. Are you going to say no to a profit of $132.12? Of course you're not. You're going to grab those and you're going to bank the profit and you're going to move on to the next product. But let's talk about how we'd actually get that product listed in our accounts, because the way in which Amazon works, it's one big catalog of lots of different products and the listings already exist. We don't sell anything that's not already listed on the platform. So someone's already taken the pictures, they've already written the title, it's already got reviews, it's already ranking. If someone were to type in pink lemonade lipstick into Amazon, I don't know if that's what it's ranking for right now, but if people know that this is the one that they want, this listing shows up. And then what happens, like I was saying earlier on, is the buy box is going to rotate around the various different people who are selling that product right now. So if we wanted to become one of those people that gets the offer rotated around, we can just scroll on down to in BuyBot Pro and click this button here where it says add product. What that's going to do is it's going to load it up into Amazon where we can then go ahead and list it. So let's start off by just selecting here that Amazon will dispatch and provide customer service for the product. And then we have a few different options. We have SKU. Now this is where we would just enter a SKU. It stands for stock keeping unit. This is an internal reference that we can give to this particular offer that we're creating in our account. So typically for me, I'd do something like this. I'd put the name of the store that I bought it from. I'd put how much I paid for it. And then I might put the month and the year that I bought it. So that way, when I'm looking back at this product later on, when I see it sell, I can see, oh, I bought it from Boots. I paid £5.84. I bought it in April of 2025. So I have all the information that I need at my fingertips for things like, looking at costs, trying to figure out my profit and loss and all that good stuff later. Then I can put my price. Now this is how much I want to sell it for. Now I recommend that you would to match the existing FBA sellers who are already selling the product on the listing. If you remember, we saw 4 or 5 of those all at the same price point at $16.96, so we should absolutely go ahead and match that. Now, some people might be inclined to say, why would I not why would I not undercut them and then get all the sales? Well, what's going to happen is a lot of these sellers will be using what's known as automated reprices, and reprices will essentially watch the market and they'll automatically move your price up and down according to how the market is moving. Now, that's a really good thing, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to be fighting manually against those, because if we go in at $16.95, what's going to happen is one of those reprices is going to drop the price to $1.94, and then you're going to see that and go manually adjust to $16.93, and what happens then is what's known as the race to the bottom. It's not good for anybody except for the customers who get a better deal, but obviously we need to make profit. We want to match where the market is, get an equal share of the sales, and then go rebuy more of the same product if it sells well. So there we go. We've got the price of the product. Then we just select the condition. We're going to say that's new. And then we've already told Amazon that we want them to provide the fulfillment and customer service. This is essentially how we tell Amazon we want to use Amazon FBA. And then we click save and finish. And then what happens is that loads that listing into our account so that we can then tell Amazon we're going to be sending them in as product listings. So just before I show you how to do this, some of you might be saying, hey Josh, I haven't actually got an Amazon seller account. So quickly, let me just walk you through the steps of opening your Amazon seller account before I show you how to go about actually sending these products to Amazon's fulfillment center. So opening your own Amazon seller account is very easy and very straightforward. All you need to do is head to sell.amazon.com if you want to sell in Amazon US, or replace.com with .co.uk for the UK, or .ca for Canada, so on and so forth. And there you can go about creating your own account. Now, there are two different levels of accounts. One is called the individual account, and with that there are no monthly fees, but they charge you an extra fee per unit that you sell. The other is the professional, and that's the one I recommend. There is a monthly fee for that, which is £25 plus VAT in the UK per month, or about $40 per month in the US. Now, the reason I recommend the professional over the individual is because if you're going to be starting this, I highly recommend that you go into it with the mindset that you're going to make this a success, because you can absolutely do that. There have been so many others before you that have done exactly that, and there's no reason why you watching this video right now should not be the next one. So start as you mean to go on. Start with the mindset that this is going to be a success for you. So get the professional level account, avoid the per unit fee, and you've only got to sell 35 products, 35 units per month to make the professional account pay, because you pay no extra fee per unit. You just pay a one-off set monthly fee going forward, and that's it. So get the professional account, sign yourself up, and I've got a little guide here that I'm going to walk you through some of the steps that you might find as you go through, because there are a few different things here that you need to know. So the first thing is that when you click that sign up button, when you click the sign up button here, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, and that's where Amazon's saying, hey, do you already have an Amazon account? Now, what they mean here is, do you have an Amazon account as a buyer? Have you interacted with us before? Chances are you've probably bought something on Amazon before. Now, it's up to you whether you use those same credentials, whether you use the same account that you use to buy with, to sell with. I'd recommend that you use a different one just to create a disconnect between the two. If you want to use your existing account, then just sign in. If not, click the create your Amazon account button, and then you'll need to use a different email address. So again, just go create yourself a free Gmail account, josh'samazonstore@gmail.com or something like that. Whatever you want to use, it's entirely up to you. Fill in your name, your email, create a password, and then just click the next button, which will take you onto a section where it's going to tell you about what information they're going to require from you during the sign up process. Now, whether you are just an individual selling as yourself, then the information that you'll need will be related only to you. So that you'll need some government ID, a credit or debit card, I must stress that because it does just say credit, but it means credit or debit. And then you'll need a bank statement just to show that the bank account that you're going to be providing Amazon with does indeed belong to you and that you are who you say you are. If you're a business, you'll need some other information, but essentially once you have everything that you need, you can proceed on to the next step. So here is where it asks who you are and what type of entity that you have. Now, depending upon what you want to do, how you want to move forward with this, and I'd highly recommend getting some professional advice on this, as to whether or not you should be a sole proprietor, sole trader, or have a limited company or an LLC. Which way you go is entirely up to you. Many of our clients decide to go with a limited company or an LLC because there is some protection for you as an individual there, but some people just want to really quickly get started, and so they just go ahead as an individual sole trader or sole proprietor. Entirely up to you, but fill in the relevant information and proceed to the next step where they're going to collect more information about you as a person. So you're going to want to provide all that information again step by step. I want you to explain this to you Just provide your government ID information, your first name, last name, middle names, address, all that good stuff, and proceed to the next step where they're going to ask for your bank statement or your bank details. So this is the bank account that you're going to get paid out into. So when you do make sales and profits, Amazon wants to know, where should we send the money to? So make sure that this information is correct and that the bank account that you use is in the same name as the person that you're registering as. So if you are registering as a limited company or LLC, the bank account needs to belong to that limited company or LLC. If you're registered as an individual, the bank account needs to be in that name too. So go ahead, enter that information, click verify bank account, and you can move on to the next step. So the next step is where Amazon wants to know, what payment card can we use should your account fall into a negative balance? Now I'll go ahead and say, this is going to be a rare occasion, especially if you follow the steps that I'm providing in this video. The products that you buy should sell, you should have money in your Amazon account, and then Amazon will just take the money directly from that rather than billing your card. But in the unlikely event that your account falls into a negative balance, Amazon wants to know who they can charge. So the card that you're providing here is a charge card for that purpose. Now this card does not need to belong to the bank account that's linked to the company. They just want to have something on file to charge. So make sure that whatever card you put in there has at least £1 or $1 in the balance, and you should be able to proceed ahead and move to the next step. Next, you need to give your storefront a name. So the name is just the trading name. It doesn't need to be the same as your business. You can actually change this every 30 days for free without having to pay anything. But come up with a store name, maybe just use your initials with enterprises on the end, something like that. That's typically how a lot of our clients do it. They have their initials, so JPG Enterprises, something like that, and that's their storefront name. Don't overthink it. Don't use any Amazon intellectual property. Don't use the word Amazon or Prime or anything like that. Should be common sense, but some people do go use that sort of stuff. Anyway, don't overthink it, and you just have to select on. I'll go through these options because there are a couple of bits here that could be confusing. Do you have universal product codes? Yes, you do, because the products that we're selling already have the UPC is basically a barcode number. Do you have diversity qualifications, certifications, and what have you? The answer to this is probably no, but if it's different, decide for yourself. And it says, are you the brand owner or manufacturer, agent or representative of the brand? Chances are you're not going to be, so select no and proceed to the next step. Now here, this is where they want to upload. They want you to upload a photograph of your ID. So provide a picture of both the front and the back, submit it, and then they're going to invite you to join a video call to verify. Now there's been a lot of fraud on the platform in the past, and that's why Amazon has these steps in place to ensure that you are who you say you are, so that you're not just some scammer joining to rip people off for their money. I know that that's not you. You're watching this video here, so you're looking to do the right thing. But anyway, they're going to invite you to a call. Very, very simple, just a quick Zoom call, just a few minutes, and they'll see you are who you say you are, and then you'll be good to go. After that, you are now officially registered as an Amazon seller. You should be verified within a few days and ready to go. So now that you have your Amazon seller account set up, I showed you how to add a product. Now we can go ahead and get those products sent to Amazon's fulfillment center. So if we click here, list as FBA and send to Amazon, what that's going to do is it's going to create an offer in our account for the product that we just listed, and tell Amazon that we're now about to send some of them to them. So with this example, it's the only product that I've listed. Now I was saying earlier that you can combine multiple different products in a box, because it wouldn't make much sense just to send 6 little lipsticks. We'd probably throw some Lego sets in there, maybe some clothes, some shoes, some grocery products, all sorts of different things we can combine into a single box and prepare them to be sold. But for this example, let's roll with just the one product so you can see how it works. So I already have some information here. This is a prep center that I've used previously, but obviously I'm going to blur that out just for privacy. But here, what we want to select is individual units. That's been selected by default. Then we click prep and labeling details. So we want to select that there are no prep needed for these. If there were, then we could select those appropriately. So just quickly, products that are liquids or powders or things like that need to be bagged. Glass products need to be bubble wrapped, or fabric items need to be bagged, things like that. But with this particular product, it's not a liquid or anything, so it doesn't require any prep. Then we say use manufacturer barcode, and then we can hit save, and Amazon's then going to ask us who's going to be applying the labels. Amazon can do the labeling for you, but I don't recommend that because it's too much of a charge. I would recommend you have your prep center take care of that for you, or if you're doing it yourself, just select by seller. So I'm going to go with by seller here. So either way, whether you're having a prep center do it or you're doing it yourself, you would select by seller. I wouldn't recommend having Amazon do it. It gets too expensive too quickly. Then hit save. Now Amazon's saying, well, how many of these units are you sending in? So we just enter the number of units in there. Then we click ready to pack. Then what happens is If you've got a prep center, they will print the labels from here and apply them to the product. But if you're doing it yourself, select the dimensions of the labels, which printer you're using, select the number of labels, and then just hit the print button and they will spit out, and you can put them over the existing barcodes on the products that you've got. Then once you've done that, just click pack individual units, and we will move on to the next step where Amazon's going to say how many boxes are you sending and how big are they. So I'm going to tell them that everything will fit in one box, confirm that. I'm going to give it some fictional dimensions for the box here. We're in the UK, so we operate in centimeters and kilos. So we'll just say it's 20 by 20 by 20 and it weighs 5 kilos. Now it's important to give accurate measurements here. Once again, if you're using a prep center, they will do this for you, but then confirm packing information and your box is ready to go. Click confirm and continue. I'm not going to proceed further down this step because they'll charge me for this imaginary shipment that I'm putting together. But essentially what they'll do is tell you how much it's going to cost you to have them pick it up and send and take it to Amazon's fulfillment center. They'll give you a couple of labels to stick on the box, and then everything beyond that point is handled by Amazon. But like I said, don't panic if this is something you're going to ask a prep center to do. Maybe just having watched this is something you prefer for a prep center to do and you just want to list the products, not create shipments. Then everything that I've just showed you could be handled by a prep center. So how do we actually go about increasing the number of sales and winning the lion's share of the buy box? Well, there are two key elements to it. You've probably heard of the 80-20 principle that says 80% of result is yielded from 20% of input, and that is absolutely the case with the Amazon buy box. The algorithm that powers the buy box primarily focuses on two things: value and convenience. Now, what does that mean? How does that translate to products that you're selling on Amazon? Well, value obviously applies to the price that you pay. Value is a difficult one because it doesn't always specifically mean price. Value is a combination of different factors, right? How soon can they get it? So convenience is a factor that kind of comes in with value, but it stands on its own too. So essentially, to tick the first box of value, I would recommend that you competitively price your products. Now, I already showed you how to do that by matching the £16.96 that we talked about earlier on. So matching that £16.96 means that we can actually stand a chance of being competitive, so we tick the value box. Then for convenience, the best way that we can do that is to use Amazon FBA. A lot of the other sellers on the platform will be doing what's known as FBM, where they physically store, pick, pack and ship the items themselves. Not only does it take more time, it costs more money, but of course you don't get as good of a share of the buy box as other FBA sellers. And the other 80% of factors that give 20% of the result is where you can get the edge. And that is to keep your account in good standing. Respond to customer messages if you get them within 24 hours. Make sure that you're not getting complaints for faulty products and things like that, or counterfeit claims or anything like that. All of that can be avoided by buying the right kinds of products. Make sure that your account is in good standing, that you're doing all the right things, and collect feedback as best you possibly can from the people who place orders with you. Amazon does this automatically, but you can be proactive and go out there and actually recruit feedback from your buyers by doing a simple manual process of heading into the orders and requesting feedback. It's as simple as that. And that will give you just that little edge that will help you to win more buy boxes than your competitors. So now you're making sales, you're making profits, all that good stuff. What do you do about your taxes? Well, I should say I'm not a professional tax advisor. I'm definitely not that. I have someone that takes care of that for me. So that would be my recommendation to you. You can download a series of reports from Amazon's dashboard, Seller Central. You can keep a record of all your expenses, have a spreadsheet, maybe in Google Sheets, record what you spent, when you bought it, what payment method you used, how much it was and where you bought it from. Record all that in a spreadsheet, and then the income can be recorded from Amazon itself. You can download the reports. Then you can hand that information. You can either have a bookkeeper. There are companies that specialize in helping Amazon sellers specifically that understand the business model. They understand how we operate and they know exactly how things go. So you can work with someone like that, or you can train if you're already working with someone, you can train them up as to exactly how this works. But ultimately, collect the information, file the taxes the right way, use a professional who knows what they're doing, and everything will be taken care of. It shouldn't be something that holds you back, because ultimately everybody pays taxes, right? You just have to make sure you do it in the right way. So I'm not going to give you any specific advice because I'm not a specialist, but that is how I would go about it. So I just want to close by saying that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is an income replacement scheme. This is something that you can do on the side besides your full-time job. You can build this up slowly over time. That could be something that eventually replaces your income. That's how it works worked for me back in 2013 when I first started this. It was a couple of years. I was actually kind of forced out of a job. The business I worked for, it was my family business, actually closed down. So I was kind of forced and I had to transition into this full time just 2 years later. But it was something that was able to support both me and my dad. We both teamed up and he came on board and worked with me in this business. He no longer works for me in this business, but he did for a few years. So it was something that worked for me to transition into a full-time income. So look, who knows, maybe that is your goal as well. And by watching this video, you are 90% ahead of all the other sellers on the platform who are just getting started, who don't have any advice and don't have any guidance. And that this is something that we can help you with on a deeper level. If you want any more information, there's a link below this video that you can go ahead and check out. But otherwise, be sure to give this video a like if you found it useful and informative. Otherwise, drop any comments for questions that you have, and be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video.